I never thought much about the night. Most folks don't. We close our doors, turn off the lights, and trust that the dark will pass us by. But if you've ever worked the graveyard shift at a gas station off a lonely stretch of Highway 17 in rural Georgia, you know the night is alive. It breathes, it listens, and sometimes it remembers. I was 27, broke, and desperate for work. My uncle's trailer was falling apart, and the bills were piling up. The Pine Hollow Gas & Go paid $1 more than the diner, so I took the job thinking it'd be easy money. Just me, a cash register, and a few truckers passing through. I never believed the stories the locals told about the place being cursed, about things moving on their own, about that little girl. I figured they were just trying to spook the new guy. I wish I'd listened. My first week was slow. The hum of the fluorescent lights kept me company, and I learned the regulars' names. Old Man Harris came in for his scratch-offs, Miss Ruth for her menthols, and the truckers, always tired, always polite. The nights were quiet, except for the wind rattling the pine needles against the windows. But then the air started to change. It got colder at night, even though it was the middle of August. The kind of cold that settles in your bones, makes your teeth ache. That's when the beer cooler started acting up. The door would rattle like someone was trapped inside, and sometimes I'd hear bottles clinking together, soft at first, then louder, like someone was searching for something. I'd check every time, nothing but rows of cold beer and my own reflection in the glass. One night, I heard the cooler door slam so hard it shook the shelves. I went to check and found it wide open, condensation rolling out like breath. There were wet footprints on the floor, bare feet, small, like a child's. They stopped at the edge of the linoleum, then vanished. I laughed it off, told myself. It was just a prank, but the security footage showed nothing, just me, standing there, staring into the empty cooler. After that, the register started acting strange. It would ring up items I hadn't scanned. Candy bars, beer, cigarettes. The receipts would print out, but instead of Snickers or Bud Light, they'd say things like, "Remember," or "Get out." I showed my manager, but he just shrugged and said the system was old. I started to feel like I was the only one seeing these things. The nights got longer. The shadows in the corners seemed to move when I wasn't looking. Sometimes, I'd hear whispers, soft, urgent, calling my name. Eli, Eli. I stopped sleeping during the day. I was afraid to close my eyes. Then came the first robbery. It was a Wednesday, just after midnight. A man in a black hoodie came in, pointed a gun at me, and demanded the cash. His hands were shaking so bad, I thought he might shoot me by accident. I gave him the money, and he ran out, leaving the door swinging in the humid air. The cops came, took my statement, and told me to be careful. They never caught him. After that, everything got worse. The cooler door would open by itself, sometimes slamming so hard it rattled the shelves. I started seeing things, shadows slipping behind the aisles, a flash of long, dark hair in the reflection of the freezer glass. Sometimes, I'd catch a glimpse of a little girl standing by the candy rack, her dress soaked, her eyes wide and empty. She'd vanish if I blinked. A week later, I was robbed again. This time, it was two men, faces covered, guns drawn. They tied my hands behind my back and shoved me into the stockroom. One of them whispered, "Don't look at her," over and over. I didn't know what he meant. When they left, I found the cooler door open again and the wet footprints leading out into the night. I started asking around town. Folks told me stories about the gas station, about a little girl who'd gone missing years ago, last seen buying candy from the store. They said her mama still came by every Sunday, leaving flowers by the dumpster. Some said they'd seen her, late at night, wandering the aisles looking for her mama. Others said the station was built on old swampland and the ground never forgot. I tried to quit, but my manager begged me to stay. "It's just the night playing tricks on you," he said. "You'll get used to it." But I never did. So, last week I worked there. The air was thick with fog. The cooler door was already open when I came in. I closed it, locked it, and went to the counter. Around 3 a.m., the lights flickered and went out. I heard footsteps, bare feet, slapping against the tile I couldn't move. The register started printing receipts, one after another, the sound echoing in the dark. I grabbed my flashlight and shined it down the aisle. There she was, a little girl, soaking wet, hair plastered to her face, eyes wide and empty. She looked at me, then turned and walked into the cooler. I followed, heart pounding. The door slammed shut behind me, and the light inside flickered. I heard her whisper, "Help me." Then the cold hit, a deep, bone-chilling cold that made my teeth ache. The bottles rattled, the shelves shook, and the door wouldn't budge. I started screaming, pounding on the glass, but no one came. When the morning shift arrived, they found me curled up on the floor of the cooler, shaking and half frozen. I quit that day. I moved out of town, never looked back. But sometimes, late at night, I still hear the cooler door slam, and I smell the cold, wet air. I wonder if she's still there, waiting for someone to help her. Or maybe she's found her way out, and she's looking for me. A few months after I left, I got a call from my old manager. He sounded shaken. "Eli," he said, "I know you don't want to hear this, but we found something." He told me they'd been doing some renovations, tearing up the old tile behind the cooler. They found a small, waterlogged shoe, and beneath it, a patch of earth that never dried, no matter how much they tried to clean it. He said the new night clerk quit after a week. Said she kept hearing a little girl's voice, crying for her mama. The cooler door still opens on its own, and sometimes the register prints out receipts with just one word: stay. If you ever find yourself driving down Highway 17 and you see a little gas station with the lights flickering in the fog, keep driving. Don't stop. Don't look back. Some places are meant to be forgotten. Some doors should never be opened. And if you hear a little girl's voice whisper your name from the darkness, remember, she's not looking for help. She's looking for company.